Hello and welcome to another What Sold on eBay video. We're going to go over 16 items that sold for over $3,600. Each item is going to be over $100, and I'm going to go over each item in detail and tell you a little history behind the item and maybe some other information. So when you go to look at for these kind of different items at garage sales, thrift stores, estate sales, etc., you'll have a little bit more knowledge with that. And by the way, if you enjoy these videos, go down there, click the like button real quick, and subscribe if you enjoy these type of videos. So let's get right into it. First up, we have this vintage 1930 cultured pink Baroque pearl necklace. They're not broke. It is Baroque. It is Baroque. I guess Baroque is like a certain like kind of style of a time, like timeless era style, antique thing. It's like there's like lots of puns and stuff that are in movies about Baroque. But anyways, I think it was even in Beauty and the Beast and the animated Disney movie in the 90s where one of the characters said something about Baroque, and it's they always pun this whole thing. Anyways, this was actually pretty interesting because it had like the original like some sort of like appraisal from, I don't know, I wish this was dated, but they were saying this appraisal value was 195, and this looks like it's possibly from the 60s or the early 70s. But anyways, nice set of pearls. They came in this little clasp thing, and some of the pieces were a little rusting, or what do you call it? They're oxidizing. And I do believe that little clasp maybe was like 14 karat gold. And but anyways, we took a best offer for $100 on this. This kind of stuff doesn't really go for a whole bunch of money. Natural pearls is where it's at. Cultured pearls, for those that don't know, it's basically like farm raised pearls, where basically farmers have clams and they basically just create pearls by just the sheer amount of volume of clams. They feed them different types of things, and once it's like basically a little sand. I forget what it is. I think it's a little sand, like a piece of sand. They actually put other stuff in there now, like, but it basically grows over the course of months and years, and then then they harvest them at a certain point. Anyways, like I said, and to be honest, I couldn't tell you between like what a cultured pearl and a natural pearl would look like. If you know that answer, like if it's a quick answer, please leave a comment below. I'm very curious. I mean, I guess I can do research on that. But anyways, these were a nice little kind of like a subtle pink color. They weren't quite white. So anyways, keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. Next up, we have this Annette Hempset. This is a doll. Emil is the name, and for whatever reason, I thought this was made out of porcelain, and I actually listed it originally as porcelain, and then I had a bunch of collectors email me asking me if this was vinyl or if it was truly porcelain, because I guess this particular artist doesn't do porcelain figures. So when I went to go look at it, I was like, wow, that actually, first off the bat, it felt porcelain, but it was actually a vinyl once I took a little deeper look at it. I mean, to be honest, I think this thing's creepy. I mean, if you think the doll's creepy, leave a comment below. I mean, it's really high quality, don't get me wrong. It's a really the artistry behind this doll is very nice, but I don't know. I just don't know. I'm not gonna say it. I'm just like saying like who I'm gonna say it. I don't know who would want this in their house. I don't know. To each their own. Like I'm saying, I'm not judging. Anyways, this sold for $100. Next up, we have this vintage Roberts Brothers from San Francisco. This is a beaver brown fur coat, women's size 6. And usually fur coats do very well in the wintertime. So anywhere between September and February are the times to list your furs if you have them. And so, yeah, just kind of, do that. It looks like there's a little bit of staining in there. We took a best offer, I want to say, for $125 on this particular one. Next up, we have this complete Calvin and Hobbes 3 volume box collector's book set. This is a really huge, heavy kind of Calvin and Hobbes collection. As you can see here, it retailed for $150. And I want to say they took a best offer for $110 on this, but I could be wrong. But it still went for pretty high, as you can see here. And it's sealed, and like any kind of sealed comic book stuff, funny paper, funnies, peanuts and stuff, definitely go and look those up on Amazon too, because sometimes the arbitrage between eBay and Amazon could be, a world of difference. So definitely go and check those out. Next up, we have this Tiffany Company sterling silver 925 beaded ball strand necklace. This is a 19-incher. We've had this up for a little bit of a while. We talked about Tiffany and Company before. It has a lot of premium to it as far as like if you have a gold or silver, it's worth way more than, well, not way more, but it's worth more than just the silver content and the gold content. It gives a little bit of value to the Tiffany and Company, and so this is like a ball strand silver. As you can see here, everything looks legit. I've talked about this before in the past that there are fake Tiffany and Company silver stuff, and so just to look out for this particular like the hallmark. Well, if the hallmark looks off, if like in between the little O, I don't think I can zoom in any further than this, but like in the O, if there's like something like a line going through it, like the metal doesn't stamp properly. Tiffany and Company stuff is going to be almost perfect, so if it's going to have any kind of stuff, you're going to know it's probably going to be a fake. But anyways, this is a really cool piece. I want to say we took a best offer for $150 on this, and I apologize, I don't have my sheet in front of me. I'm going off of memory right now. Next up is this vintage Nutcracker from Germany. As we can see here, this is Phantom of the Opera. Just like the fur coats we were talking about earlier, Nutcrackers sell very well during autumn and winter for obvious reasons. They're more kind of like Christmas decor. There's lots of hardcore Nutcracker collectors, and so if you have this kind of stuff, it's probably not going to sell in like January through July, October, September. But some of this stuff is going to start to sell later in the year. They're kind of seasonal kind of things. If you have these, I mean, I guess you can list them anytime during the year, but you're going to see an increase, just like Christmas ornaments and stuff like that. You're going to see a bigger increase towards the end of the year, just like Halloween stuff too. I mean, there's lots of seasonal stuff that's like that. Anyways, this sold for the solid 125, as you see there, and it was from Germany. Here's another one. This one was the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland. As you can see here, the Tea Party. And this one also sold for the solid price of $150. These are actually really cool, really interesting. Just happy I didn't have to ship these, because sometimes this kind of stuff is a little funky to ship, and we'll talk about funky ship in a little bit. If you're enjoying this video so far, definitely go down there and click the like button. I definitely appreciate it. Next up is Kate Spade. We've talked about this brand before in the past. It is a certain kind of bolo brand. Like, not everything Kate Spade is going to be worth a ton of money, but if you can find stuff that's like brand new, barely used, purses and clutches and things like that. I know she's done like all kinds of costume jewelry, and she does clothes and stuff, but usually like the clutches and the purses do okay. So if you ever see the name Kate Spade, definitely do some research. This is kind of funky, interesting, teal and pink flamingos here. And I want to say we took a best offer for about $160 on this. So this was a really good sale for a kind of like a smaller clutch, purse. Usually, the Louis Vuittons and all that stuff, get pretty good money, but clutches are kind of small and people don't really pay up for those. But this one actually sold, and I'm guessing it's just because of the odd subject matter here. And I'm not saying like flamingos are odd. I'm just saying it's just like not a normal kind of solid colors and designs. It's very wild and vibrant, and so I'm sure someone in Florida or Hawaii or something, this would be great like decor for like a woman at the beach or something like that. So yeah, so this is pretty cool actually design. Next up we have this Michael Aram. These are candle holders and a vase. If you're not familiar with this brand, definitely look it up. It's all I want to say these things are like silver tone. What was the thing on this one? But anyways, just look for this. Let me show you what the tag looks like. Basically, look for anything with this Aram, Michael Aram logo. This stuff sells pretty well. I would say like go and check comps to see all the different things that this particular designer has to offer. It's kind of more like throwbacks. They look like vintage and antique type decor, but it's just it's a newer kind of contemporary thing. So definitely look out for that. Here's that ship I was talking about earlier. And by the way, I did a bit of a vlog on this, and I'll leave a link above to how I shipped this ship in a vlog. And you can actually, there's chapters, so you can actually scoot to the chapter. Actually, I might tag the actual chapter to the, I don't know if I can do that with a tag above. But anyways, this was a cloisonne, which is like an enamel. This is like a Asian inspired like boat thing, and it was heavy and it was awkward to ship. But we shipped the ship. As you can see here, it had like a anchored wooden base, and that wooden base was pretty heavy, 19 inches tall. And like I said, some of this Asian inspired enamel work does very well, especially like little, I don't know, little trinket boxes and things like that. It's been, that kind of stuff is done very well, uh, throughout the years. We took a best offer for 200 on this, so it was actually a pretty good sale. We had it for 500 for like a couple months, and there was no buyers. So the second someone offered me $200 for it, I definitely took it. Next up is this Kuji sweater from Australia. This is authentic sweater, multicolor, Cosby style, vintage sweater from the 80s. Now, if you ever see this, this is like a Bolo brand and a half. It almost looks like Google, doesn't it? But it's Kuji, and actually Jake in San Jose, he got like 5 or 6 of these, I want to say, in one shot. So I guess it was probably someone cleaning out their closet, maybe an older person that just had these forever, and they just donated the whole collection, not knowing that some of these things are worth hundreds of dollars. And for the most part, they're all going to be, any Kuji, in decent condition is going to be over $80. Some of them, I haven't really took a dive into the Kuji in such a long time, but I know that some of them go very, very high, especially if you could find brand new ones with tags. That's like astronomical money sometimes, but not really a desirable color, but still sold for about $200. And so definitely look out for that brand if you've never heard of that brand before. But if you're a reseller and you've been doing this for a long time, you've heard of that brand. This is like, no, this is not new, groundbreaking news to you. And by the way, if you've never heard of Kuji sweaters before, definitely leave a comment below. I'll be interested to know if this is the first time hearing this, because everyone has a first time Kuji experience. They're like, never mind. Next up is another Tiffany and Company piece. This is from this is a Picasso Zilligil, whatever it is, 18 karat, 750. By the way, is like a European stamp. And where is that 750? There it is. There it is in all its glory, with the zoom, kind of like jeweler's loop camera thing here. Tiffany Company 750. Some people might get thrown off by that and think it's not gold, but it is the equivalent of 18 karat gold, which means more money for your pocket. Anyways, this is a gold medallion. We sat on this for a little while too. We had this thing as high as like $1,000. No buyers, no bidders, best offers, the whole 9 yards. Even the 50% off sale, no buyers at 500. Nothing going on. But someone did offer us $300 for this, and we did take it. And so, pretty good sale. And so just look out for Tiffany and Company stuff. Next up is this new inbox. Opened Zebic. This is a tri-screen. This was a kind of like a funky kind of like desktop kind of monitor thing, and it's like weird. Like it kind of like folds out, and it's not like three separate. Well, it is 3 separate monitors, but it kind of like folds out, and you can kind of set it up. And I don't know if it would be great for gaming or whatever, but it was very interesting. I've never seen something like this. Usually when you see these type of things, it's one whole screen that just kind of wraps around, or it's just 3 separate monitors that you put together. This one actually kind of like weirdly folds all the way out. It was kind of interesting. But anyways, they took a best offer for 300 on this one. So look out for this kind of stuff. I've never seen it. And of course, it has a barcode. So if you ever come across this stuff at a garage sale, you can just scan it with your eBay app or Amazon app, and whatever is your choice. Or if you have a Seller Pro like I have, which is another app that costs $10 a month, and it's good for Amazon stuff. So that's what I use and pay for. Next up is this Hudson Bay. This is an 8-point multicolored stripe blanket made from England, 100% wool. And I've never heard of this brand before, so this was a new thing for me. Hudson Bay, I kind of looked at this and I was like, wow, there's some of this stuff went for crazy, crazy money. I want to say we took a best offer for $400 on this, as you can see here. It's got the vintage style label still on it. And like I said, I've never heard of this brand before, but when I started to look up the comps on this particular brand, I was like, wow, there's some pretty crazy stuff in here. But Hudson Bay, Bolo brand, I want to say we took a best offer for 400 on this particular blanket, which is crazy money for a blanket when you really think about it. Next up, we have this Christian Lassen, as we can see here. Let's see if we can get a bigger picture. We talked about this also in the blog, so it was actually interesting. We shipped the ship and shipped this piece of art in the vlog that I posted earlier, so definitely go and check that vlog out on how I shipped this particular piece of art. What was nice is it actually came, let me see what kind of photos I got here. It actually came in its own little box. Did I show a picture of the box? I probably didn't. I always take pictures of the back because sometimes the back tells a lot more information. There's our information there. And I want to say this was probably made in the late 90s, maybe the early 90s, but it was basically like a print that had some embellishments on it. And what that means in the art world is basically it's a print that's printed out of a, either a high quality printer or a press of some sort. And then the artist goes in and does little like enamel splatters, like these little boats that are down here are enamel, and does little paint splatters and then signs it, and it's called an embellishment. So it's like a print with an embellishment. Anyways, we took a best offer for $500 on this. I had this thing as high as like $5,000 when we first got it because this guy's art was like all over the place, and we had it up for almost a year, I want to say. It hung in my office for a very long time. And like I said, I didn't have any offers on this painting the whole time I had it on eBay. Actually, I lie. I think I had a couple of offers, but they were like $200. It was like ridiculously low offers. And we finally had someone that was willing to pay $500, and to me, that was worth it for both parties. Definitely a nice piece of kind of retro 80s. It almost looks 80s, but it's definitely 90s. When you ever see neon, neon is like 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, like in that kind of time frame. So anyways, it's a pretty cool piece of art. Next up, we have this vintage John Hardy. This is a yellow 18 karat gold pattern earrings. As you can see, solid gold, 18 karat, as you can see here. And these things are actually worth a little bit more than just the gold weight, because I think the gold weight's not even worth like $1,000. But the fact that it's from John Hardy, which is kind of like a designer, and just like Tiffany Company, there's some designers that add a premium to jewelry, just not just the gold weight. And it used to be a lot like that in the past, but more, people go off of just weight of the gold and the silver now, because sometimes designers just don't hold that extra value, especially for fashion jewelry. But anyways, this sold for, I want to say, hold on one second. We took a best offer for $600 on these, so really nice sale. Anyways, I'm Chris, Thrift Shop Hustler. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, click the like button. Subscribe if you haven't, because the more you learn, the more you earn, and I'll see you next time. Take care.